All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Jaron Ennis calling out Terence Crawford, but specifically saying, "I don't need a lot of money to fight you. It ain't about the money; it's about beating you." I like what I hear from Jaron Ennis, and if that's true, maybe it's time to push for it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before we get into the subject matter of this video, please make sure if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the share, and hit that notification button so that you can get all of the notifications when we release a video. Also, make sure that you support our sponsor, busr.ag. /Fanon, and we have different promotions going on over there. You can learn a lot about those in the live streams that we do 8 a.m. every day, Monday, Sunday through Friday. All right, so let's get into it. Great interview by Blue Blood Sports TV. If you've not seen the interview on Blue Blood Sports TV, he did an interview with Jaron Ennis. It's about a 15-minute long interview. Really good questions, good conversations, and learned and heard something in that particular video that I thought that I liked, and I honestly think could be very, very promising if it's true. And that was Jaron Ennis saying that he wanted to fight Terence Crawford and that really the money is not important for him, and that he would take whatever amount of money that they would offer him in order to make that fight, because he just knows right now that he can beat Terence Crawford, and he is more than willing to take that opportunity because the money is not what is most important to him. He said what is most important to him, excuse me, is proving that he is the best fighter in the world, and if he beats Terence Crawford, then that would do that. Now, he also said, look, man, if the money isn't, if money's not an issue, then, you know, you shouldn't be able to hide from me much longer. Now, that's the first time that I heard Jaron Ennis use the word people hiding from him. Now, I'm telling you, I like that fight. And there's a couple reasons why I like the fight. And it definitely revolves around where Terence Crawford is in his career right now, the options that are out there for him, the options that seem to be going away from him out there, and the fact and the benefit that it would pay to me as a boxing fan, right? And this is what I mean by that. Right now, Terence Crawford does not have a promoter, and on top of it, he is not being recruited by very many people outside of what we understand that Floyd Mayweather Jr. wants to make and really wants to work with Terence Crawford. But other than that, there aren't any other major promoters that are either showing the interest in him or have the fights necessary to make a business arrangement with Terence Crawford profitable. So take, for example, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn does not have any top-notch welterweights in his stable, and he does not have any top-notch 154-pounders in his stable. The closest thing that he has is a guy at 135 in Devin Haney, and he has people at 160 pounds, like in Demetrius Andrade. Gennady Golovkin is over there with the zone. So it doesn't work for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn as far as the weight classes go. Same thing. Well, obviously Terence Crawford is suing Top Rank right now. But Top Rank, even if it wasn't, only have Josh Taylor for that fight. The only people that is really that is available for him is maybe a Golden Boy fight with Virgil Ortiz, or but I don't even think that they're seriously pursuing that fight at this point in time. But if Jaron Ennis is willing to make the money work, then that goes away. That takes away a lot of problems over there at the PBC. If he is saying, look, man, I'll fight for a reasonable amount of money. I don't believe that he's probably not getting $500,000 for a fight, but any kid of that caliber that is willing to fight somebody like Terence Crawford is saying, look, I don't care, I will take it for whatever amount of money, is the kind of kid that you can work with and make a really good fight out of. And if that monetary issue is not there, there's really no reason not to make the fight. Terence Crawford just made a mandatory title defense for the WBO, and his next fight has to be for with a ranked opponent in the WBO. Well, that's a checkmate on Jaron Ennis right there. The PBC and Tim Smith said that they would like to work with him because of his talent and all that. But, the Errol Spence Jr. fight, he's not grown himself into being a pay-per-view star. And, so the money doesn't work there, right? Well, the TBC are making pay-per-view fights with guys like Luis Ortiz. They're making a pay-per-view fight with Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios, right? So it's not like and by the way, Terence Crawford records on pay-per-view is better than both of those guys' records on pay-per-view. Terence Crawford's record on pay-per-view is better than Jermell Charlo's record on pay-per-view. So if they're willing to do that, and you got a guy like Jaron Ennis that's willing to take the fight, then a pay-per-view for Terence Crawford with Jaron Ennis makes a lot of sense, man. If Terence Crawford believes that he can beat him, right? And honestly, if it's a really, really good fight and Jaron Ennis shows his, and fights, and it say it winds up being something like a split decision or something like that, dude, Jaron Ennis, even as long as he fights and gives Terence Crawford a really, really good fight, his stock is not going to drop at all. And so, but if he's willing and ready to go, hey man, I say do it, and it works for Terence Crawford because that could get him on a pay-per-view show of his own on Showtime, right? And Showtime has been doing very well at promoting pay-per-views. They know how to promote pay-per-views. I have a hard time believing that Steven Espinoza would not take that fight with Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis, especially if it gives Jaron Ennis a shot to get the WBO belt, or Terence Crawford is willing to fight multiple fights with him, right? So you can go from the Jaron Ennis fight into another fight, maybe with a Keith Thurman. By that time, dude, I believe that Terence Crawford would be up to 300, 250, 300,000 pay-per-views. If he fights, then goes to the Errol Spence Jr. fight after that, dude, there you go. That's your track record. That's the money for the fight, man. And it could all be based off the fact that Jaron Ennis, who is a fighter that has a name, okay? Now, and let me explain what I mean by Jaron Ennis has a name. Jaron Ennis' name is growing, and he is getting to be more and more well-known among hardcore boxing fans. He's as well or more well-known than guys like Jose Benavidez or guys like Igis Kalvanakis, right? He's not as well-known, obviously, as Sean Porter at this point in time. But, dude, but as far as being a phenom-type prospect, dude, his name is getting out there really, really fast. Trust me, dude. You watch how many people enjoy videos about him, like talking about him, bring him up in live streams, just the buzz that he has just amongst hardcore boxing fans. As soon as he gets a shot and they start promoting him, dude, the highlight reels that they can show about him in a promotion are spectacular. So I'm telling you, man, as long as he's willing to take the money and he's willing to push that and try to get that with Terence Crawford, I say there's no reason not to make the fight. The only reason that people would point to not making the fight is if they wanted to protect Jaron Ennis and say, oh, no, we don't want to do that. It's too early in his career. He's not ready for Terence Crawford and all of that. But if he doesn't feel that way after 27, 28 fights, and then he says he's ready, because he does say he's ready. His father, Boozy Ennis, said that they would take those fights. He said he would run to those fights. Shoot, make the fight. I like it. And so, my hat goes off to Jaron Ennis for saying he would take it for little money, and the money wouldn't be a reason not to do it. Seems like a good entree for Terence Crawford into the PBC. And we could be on having some really great welterweight fights sooner than later. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.